now, it's Adam and Joe.
Hello and welcome to the big British castle. It's time for Adam and Joe to broadcast on the radio. There'll be some music and some random talking in between, and then eventually the whole thing will just end.
I love you, girl from Mars. You're so attractive. You've got 4 breasts and a big green hair, and you do leave space-aged residue in the bed. But apart from that, I love you.
Imagine the tentacles, though.
That's what I've been imagining. That's why I'm so tired.
And she could cook that much faster.
Could she? But she might not know Earth recipes.
No, but she'd come up with new types of things. You know, like a very...
Put these nuts and bolts in with space worms. Tasty.
She'd use a new type of oil.
That wasn't her.
Was it not? Who was that?
I don't know. A bloke.
Just a bloke from Mars.
Just a bloke. No, just from Penge.
From Penge. A bloke from Penge. That was the follow-up single, I think.
I love you, bloke from Penge.
That was Ash, by the way, listeners, with Girl from Mars, and this is Adam and Joe here on BBC 6 Music.
Good morning. Let's open the show with a weather report from Adam Buxton.
It's nice weather. Actually, it's a little bit overcast at the moment, but it'll burn off. Don't worry, it's going to burn off. My friend Mark always says that.
Are we still talking about the weather?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a relief.
Do you remember, Joe, we went on holiday once to France, and it was overcast the whole time, but our friend Mark kept on saying, don't worry, it's going to burn off.
Well, we got obsessed, and I don't know, listeners, whether you've ever done this, on a cloudy day with occasional patches of sunshine, we got obsessed with chasing the sunshine.
Yeah.
So we actually tried to drive and race the clouds, and then when we got ahead of the clouds, we'd stop, jump out of the car, and sunbathe momentarily on the bonnet.
It would be an emergency sunbathing session.
Then as soon as the clouds passed over again, we'd jump back in the car and accelerate ahead to try and catch the sunspot again. It wasn't that successful a holiday sun-wise.
But it's going to be a scorcher this weekend, so they say, right? Everybody says that.
Yeah.
Everyone does.
And it's going to be a scorching show as well. That's not necessarily true, but it just made sense to link it like that. We've got all sorts of records coming up. Music, you remember music?
And we're going to resolve... the thing, Song Wars as well.
Song Wars will be resolved. Plus, there's going to be a Text the Nation and all sorts of exciting.
We've kind of reinvented the wheel, haven't we? Radio-wise,
have we?
Yeah, I mean, with all these things that we've got, these features, no one else really does that, do they?
It's unlike any other show on the radio.
It's unlike any other show on the radio,
even though it appears to look exactly the same, outwardly resembles everything else. Inside, it's completely new, but let's crack on with the music.
See, that would be a good description of this next band.
What?
Hot Chip.
Crack on. Hot Chip, what?
Yeah.
What?
Completely new on the outside, but inside, containing many retro parts.
That's true, and these guys are playing at all tomorrow's parties in Camber Sands. Tomorrow, I kind of wish I was going to that.
They're so hot right now. This is Hot Chip with One Pure Thought. That's Hot Chip with One Pure Thought. It sounds like the song of a man to me who's worried that his brain is basically a sewer.
It's a very light song.
Yeah, but that's to disguise the fact that it's the subject matter is very dark.
Is it?
He's troubled because of the filth in his mind.
Really?
And he's looking for just one pure thought to redeem him. Do you know what I'm saying? Because almost everything he thinks when he's watching the telly, he's distracted, he's thinking about doing dirty things to all the people in the soaps and Alan Sugar and all that kind of stuff.
Dirty things to Alan Sugar?
Yeah.
Really?
Because he's attractive, Alan Sugar.
He is.
He's like a Nookie the Bear.
He's got sexy wrinkles.
He does, doesn't he? And he's powerful as well, and people love power. They're attracted to power.
He's angry. People like anger.
Did you watch The Apprentice this week?
Me?
Yeah.
Of course I did.
We should talk about it later on. I mean, I'm sure everyone has, because it's kind of a classic of all time. But we should talk about it later on.
But talking of dirty thoughts, we're going to be revealing the winner of Song Wars very soon. Song Wars last week was a sexy episode. A sex episode, as they say. I tried to shorten that. It didn't really work.
Sexisode.
Thank you. Sexy Soda. And so that's coming up. That's exciting. It was erotic songs that were suitable for broadcast on a Saturday morning show.
Yeah. And yours was genuinely erotic. There was something...
Did you think so?
Yeah, Dr. Sexy.
Eroticism is in the ear of the listener.
As you correctly pointed out, doctors, nurses, the whole world of hospitals does have a very...
license to probe,
Exactly. They're like aliens in that respect.
Aliens have a license to probe.
Yeah,
Really?
no one complains about it.
No one can complain. People like it.
People do. They go on programs and talk about it.
What? No, carry on. Keep talking.
So, yeah, speaking of which, one of my favourite band names is Dave Grohl's heavy metal offshoot, Probot.
That is a good name. My Scrabble name... Who has Scrabble names? I'm not even going to explain that. But my online name as well is Jobot.
Jobot.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are like a Jobot.
Does that make me a bit like Dave Grohl?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. So listen, after this next track, I think we're going to resolve Song Wars. And I've got a pretty good idea who's going to win. I'm not that confident this week.
I think it's going to be closer than you think.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out after this track. This is the first of my 3 picks for you listeners.
Wait, what's going on?
This is the beginning of the track, right?
The studio's being
crazy noises.
Submerged underwater.
This is Shaky Hands. This is, they're from Portland, Oregon. And this is a track called Whales Sing. Hope you enjoy it. I do.
I'll tell you whether I do.
Start, Shaky Hands. Start now. Start playing now.
It's time for Song Wars, the war of the songs. A couple of Jews by a couple of prongs, so check it out.
Yes, it's time to reveal the winner of Song Wars. It was an erotic Song Wars last week. Adam and I both attempted to write songs that would be at once verbally clean, but also get people a little bit hot under their collar.
And I would say confidently that I failed to do that.
I disagree. Your song, I'm just flicking through some of the emails we've got here. I'm a bit lazy and thick, so I haven't really prepared them.
Hey, I'm a bit lazy and thick
really?
as well.
We should do a show together.
That's a good idea.
You could be lazy and I could be thick. And we could rotate every now and then to keep things fresh.
I'd rather be thick if it's all right with you.
Okay. All right, we can do that.
Thanks.
But you've got a lot of, for instance, here's one from Phil Davies, who says, I vote Adam's Dirty Robots. Joe's, inverted commas, sexy singing style just didn't tingle my twang.
Well, you need your twang tingled.
You've got to have the twang tingled.
Otherwise, there's no sexiness.
Here's another one from Martin Coote. He says, for geek points, I think Adam wins. Dirty Robots. In fact, it's not far off a Beck track from Midnight Vultures. Can't remember the name. I think I decided you'd won when you made me feel all scuzzy.
Oh, yeah. Thanks very much.
That's a good lyric. However. Raymond from Wandsworth says, I think Joe's song is clearly the winner today.
Yeah.
It's the filthy bass line that did it for me. Plus, I think Joe's generally the more smutty of the two. So he's generally more qualified in this particular area. Unlucky, Bucky.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's a good little email.
Thanks to everyone who writes into us. You know I love getting emails. Do you remember when you were a child and getting a letter was the most exciting thing in the world?
Yes.
You'd send off for any kind of free thing, anything that came through the door addressed to you. Right. I'd be jealous of bills my dad got.
Any bit of communication.
Yeah, I'd be jealous of anything that anyone was posted.
So you
now,
feel...
on a Saturday morning, it's one of the things that helps me get out of bed and get into the studio.
Can't wait.
Yeah, lots of...
Are you elated by all the spam you get during the week as well?
Don't get too much spam.
Do you not?
No.
Oh, have you got a nice filter?
And I tend to purchase things anyway.
Right.
The pills. Yeah, I've got lots of pills. But anyway, where are the results? Do we have the results? Thank you very much. We should have some kind of a suspenseful jingle or a drum roll or something. Here.
We're all rolling now.
It's very exciting. I'm opening the envelope.
Opening your
Opening your piece of paper.
Taking your paper out.
It's 36% to 64%. And Dr. Sexy has won.
Dr. Sexy has won. I can live with that. That's a good result.
That's not bad.
That's justice. I would say that's a good slice of delicious justice versus Simeon, yes.
So now we have to hear Dr. Sexy again, and I apologise for this, but this is, paint this erotic picture in your bed. Maybe if you're still in bed and you're near your loved one, you can make love during this.
No, that was totally unnecessary.
It's the perfect length. 1 minute 30. Here's Dr. Sexy.
The doctor's ready to see you if you'd like to go through.
My name is Dr. Sexy. I got just what you need, but I ain't got no medical degree. Know what I mean? I diagnose that you have sexy disease. The symptoms include hotness and the wearing of tight jeans. Would you pop this in your mouth? Don't worry, it's clean. It's just a thermometer. Oh my god, no, she's hotter than anyone I've ever seen. Nurse Totties, is your diagnosis the same as mine?
Yes, Dr. Sexy, it's outrageous.
And I think she's so hot, it's contagious. I can't fake it, I can't take it. And I'm feeling the urge to get naked.
That kind of talk's inappropriate, Nurse Toadies. What kind of doctor's surgery do you think this is?
Sexy, sexy doctor. Dr. Sexy.
Oh yes, nearly forgot.
My name is Dr. Sexy, but I'm not NHS. This is a private practice, now pop off your vest. Can I try an experimental technique I learned in Japan? They call me Dr. Sexy, and I've sterilized my tools. Let's break some British Medical Association rules.
Dr. Sexy, you'll be struck off for that.
Sounds good.
Oh, cool me down.
That is
so
sexy.
hot.
You can't see this, listeners, obviously, but I'm actually nude now.
Adam's nude. He's smearing Marge all over his body.
It's not a very nice sight.
It is very nice.
Yeah, well, the Marge is nice.
Marge.
But the sight of the me smeared with Marge is not.
Well,
that
you know,
nice.
Marge on a very hairy body, it creates sort of clogging and clagging.
That's a nice song title.
Marge on a hairy body.
Yeah.
I think that's an album.
Maybe that's
And
a
you
Song
should be a
Wars
sexy
thing.
picture of you, like smeared in Marge.
Yeah.
What brand of Marge do you prefer?
Well, I would
Something
actually
low
go for
cholesterol. No, we
Yeah.
can't name a brand.
No.
But I definitely think something that isn't genuine Marge.
Something olive-based I would go
Yes.
for. You know, a nice low cholesterol alternative on a hairy body is good.
So that's it for Song Wars until next week.
We got to figure out what we're going to do for next week.
We
now.
invite your suggestions for themes for Song Wars next week. The email is adamandjoe.6music@bbc.co.uk. So send in those suggestions. We've got a kind of lot already here that we've...
Oh, really?
Someone's put in a file for us, so
Oh,
we'll go
really?
through them maybe a bit later.
Maybe something apprentice-based.
I had an idea, but we'll do this later.
Okay.
And we'll figure out something for next week.
It's trail time. Here's, is this a documentary about Jam and Lewis? Let's hear it.
I wish I was a little bit shorter, to be honest.
I wish I was a little bit taller.
Really?
I'm not bothered about having a rabbit in a hat with a bat, though.
I wouldn't mind one of those.
Would you?
If there's a doctor listening, Adam would like to be a little bit taller. I would like to be a little bit shorter, and I think it would make a wicked Channel 5 or 4 documentary.
Yeah.
Celebrity documentary where some of me is cut off and fastened to you to make you taller, and some of me is... That work is... Yeah, exactly. And so we're both equal height.
You know how they do it these days is they make an incision in your scalp and they put stuff in there. They put like a little bit of foam in there or something.
Right, the stuff you use in packaging to,
Yeah.
you know, if you're sending a fragile...
I'm not exactly sure what they put in there, but I'm being serious. This is what they do. Rather than breaking your legs and extending them, which is one brutal way of doing it, they extend your head. So they give you a longer head.
Like a cone head.
Yeah. And this is supposed to
Well,
fool
how do you know
people.
this?
I read it in a thing.
In
a mag.
what?
Some kind of
What
a
mag?
news mag.
Mags.
I swear to you, it was in the
Really?
newspaper. And, yeah,
I
they
don't
say
think that's true.
it doesn't work for people with long faces because then they look insane.
So if you've got a face that looks short...
I would be perfect for it because I've got a roundy face, right? And, I'm like
randy face.
roundy face. And, me, Jimmy Carr.
Is that what they call you? Randy face?
That's what they're going to call me now, isn't it? Yeah.
Oi! Randy face! You're rubbish!
I was never called Roundy Face at
You
school.
were just then.
I know, because you're a bully.
I'm a bully.
You're a dirty bully. But, so would you... No, you wouldn't be able to have that done, you see, because you're already
No,
too tall.
what they do with too tall people is they just shade them in a way that makes them appear smaller.
They paint them with horizontal stripes.
Yes.
Is what they do.
Optical illusions.
Yeah.
They strap kidney-shaped pieces of cardboard. You know those bits of cardboard where you put them...
No one knows. What are you talking about?
Come on. 2 kidney-shaped bits of cardboard. You put one on the right, one on the left, and the one on the right seems smaller. It's a famous optical illusion. Do you remember? And then when you swap them around, suddenly the bigger one is smaller, and, you know, they strap those to your ears. It makes you seem smaller.
Okay, there might be something on the news about this.
Yes, it's time for the news. You've got to be serious now. Read by Harvey Cook.
That's just an extraordinary way of singing, isn't it?
I like it a lot.
Bandages, that's an old classic now.
It is a classic. Have they done anything as good as Bandages?
Bandages, They did a song called Middle of Nowhere, which was very good as well. Hot, Hot Heat,
That's the problem with coming out with, was that, I don't even know whether that was their first single actually, but certainly it's a song that's so good and catchy and unique, isn't it? It's almost difficult to,
follow that
one up.
It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, too brilliant for their own good on that one.
They'll bounce back.
I'm sure they will.
The Heatmeisters. This is Adam and Joe here on BBC Six Music. As we said before, I think the whole of the United Kingdom has been talking feverishly about this week's episode of The Apprentice. It was an absolute smash. It was a chuckle fest. Favourite moment for you, Joe, there?
Oh, I'd have to think about that. I'm sort of very keen on the contestant called Rafe, who's very posh. I liked him apologising for the other guy swearing down the phone.
Right.
And I liked his suggestion that they should dress in local clothing.
Yeah.
And then him saying, well, just a suggestion. At the end. I think he's really nice.
Exactly. He comes out of it very well, even despite all the crazy editing they
Toffs
must
are
do.
coming back.
Toffs are back.
Boris is in, Toffs are back.
He could be in a film, though, that guy, Rafe.
What would he be playing?
Just a bounder. A sort of sexy, thick bounder. I mean, he could be the new Hugh Grant, couldn't he?
I don't think he's a bounder, though. He's pure as the driven snow.
Right.
He's too nice to be a bounder.
Well, then he could be...
Far, anyway.
That could be the film. Everyone thinks he's a bounder, but he's too nice. It's not a very good idea so far, but it needs a little bit of work.
I think he could take over from Darius in Gone with the Wind.
That's a very good idea.
Or just take over from Darius, generally.
I mean, almost anyone could take over from Darius.
That's not true.
No.
I won't have Darius insulted. He's apparently the best thing in Trevor Nunn's production of Gone with the Wind.
I forgot it was Trevor Nunn, yeah.
Yeah, they could job share. Rafe and Darius.
I had a dream about Darius the other night.
Was it dirty?
No, it was very clean. I dreamt that he was more or less on the street, actually, and I bumped into him.
Like a vagrant?
Like a vagrant. And I said, hey, how are you? We met once ages ago. Don't you remember? Because I met him once. And he did remember in my dream. It wasn't a very interesting dream.
Well, thanks for sharing.
Sorry, it was an accidental share. But yeah, my favourite bit, I think, was the whole half Jewish business. You remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
And then did you watch The Apprentice You're Fired afterwards?
I did.
Was Vanessa Feltz like a little bit hardcore on there, or what?
Yeah, I think there's something a bit creepy about
Feltz.
The follow-up show.
Oh, I see.
I think it's a bit of a kind of bear-baiting type thing.
Right.
Even Childs, who I adore, is being a little bit ruthless with them. Especially Kevin.
Yeah.
The guy the other week, the only gay in the village guy.
Yeah.
He was basically roasted.
He wasn't too hard on Kevin, was he?
Well, Kevin couldn't really deal with it.
Really?
And then I thought they were very hard on a red-haired lady.
They were very hard, and Sugar...
She seemed lovely.
Sugar was hard on her last night as well, on Jonathan Ross.
Really?
He said he was happy to fire her.
I'm going to employ her.
Are you really?
Yeah, to clean my toilets.
She is frightening, though. And I couldn't figure out what the whole thing she was doing with trying to bribe the woman to do a bad job.
Oh, that was just a bit of fun.
It was just a bit of fun, exactly.
It was just a bit of fun.
But they played it. That's the thing. You don't have a bit of fun in those shows. You know, I wonder if they suggested it to her that she should do that. You know? Because they act as if, like, how could you have done that?
You know what I'd really like to see is a behind-the-scenes program.
Yeah.
And I know you'll never see it, because the secrets of how they actually make that show are the key to it, right?
Well, Sugar swears it's all real.
Really, I'd love to see a proper behind-the-scenes show, exactly how they make it. If you look at the credit roll, they've got about 10 or 11 camera people, 10 or 11 sound recordists. So they presumably, they film everything.
Right.
Then they edit backwards from the firing. They find out who he fires and who the three people in the boardroom are, and then they edit, and then they think backwards, don't they? And edit backwards
This
to
is
the
you
things
speculating.
that they got fired from, and then edit the show according to set up the things that they. So, and once you know that, you can pretty much guess and see who's going to be fired by the way it's cut. Because they fired her because she lied about the rackets.
Yes, that's right. Because that's going over the line. That's crossing the line.
And they introduced that with a big bit of voiceover, which was kind of shoehorned in there. The other funny thing was there was a lot of swearing.
Right.
The F word midway through the episode.
Well, who's that ludicrous guy who's like totally gung-ho?
He keeps saying, "Come on,
come on."
Get in there!
Those
Jeff phrases should be banned.
Yeah.
He's probably called Jeff, Adam.
Or Lee.
Or Lee. One of those
One
names.
of these people.
But men should not be allowed to say get in there.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore. It's wrong. But he started swearing, and then someone else swore as well, said the naughty F word. But he said it in such a way and such a tone that it sounded just like the narrator. That the narrator got carried away, and he was saying the word as well. I thought that would be a good style of narration, where the narrator just started swearing as well.
Hey, take a look into the future, man. Give it 5 years. I will
Next
give
series.
maybe less than 5 years, and your average.
The narrator, stop being bipartisan as a narrator. Just get really involved. The narrator should pick a guy who wants to win, and try and bring the others down on the voiceover. Don't you think?
It'll happen very shortly. And finally, were you aware of the difference between halal and kosher?
Yes.
Were you really hand on heart?
Yeah.
So was I.
Yeah.
So was I. Absolutely. Anyone who wasn't is insane.
An idiot.
An absolute idiot. I absolutely knew the difference. Now, here's the raconteurs with Salute Your Solution. That's the raconteurs, Jack White and Brendan Benson, obviously. And that's from their new album, Consolers of the Lonely. That's the new single that was released on Monday, Salute Your Solution. That's good, man. That's a good album as well. Is it my imagination, or is there a lot of good music around this year? A lot.
It's your imagination.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right,
You're just imagining it all.
There's loads, man. There's loads of good stuff. It seems like every week there's some kind of new great music coming out. You know?
You're talking about Dr. Sexy, aren't you?
I'm talking about Dr. Sexy.
Yeah.
It's a very sexy atmosphere in the studio this morning, listeners. You know, I can see the sun's coming out now. I told you the cloud was going to burn off, and it is. And the summer is definitely,
I'll tell you why it's very sexy, because One Extra, the BBC's, station, what plays funky music and all that sort of a business, has come and is doing its show from the next door studio. That something's gone wrong in the One Extra studio or something. It's being refitted, so they're doing their One Extra show through a panel of glass, and the TJ's beautiful.
She is foxy.
She's really amazingly beautiful.
It looks like
she's just she keeps dancing to the song.
Everyone's dancing around. They're all young in there. It looks like a Gap advert. And they're all grooving about, and Dr. Sexy's getting all steamed up.
Dr. Sexy wants to help them present their show. Dr. Sexy, some of those women are ill. I swear, that one's in trouble, and actually Dr. Sexy does need to intervene, because she's on a knife edge.
The thing is that, listeners, where Joe is sitting in the studio, he's right next to the glass partition that looks through into the next studio where these people are presenting their show from. So he's in, direct eye line with the DJ, right? She's sort of sitting equal and opposite to him in the other studio.
Gaze.
And she's studiously ignoring Joe's gaze. But now maybe someone might text their show or something and say, the old men...
look at my gaze?
The old men in the studio next door are perving at you. So watch out.
I'm sure she's got sexy disease. And she needs at least some cream applied.
Oh, steady. Come on,
hey.
Dr. Sexy, introduce your free play now.
Yeah, this is a song all about summer, because it's summer, and this is by the Reverend Al Green. It's from the Bell album, 1977. This is lovely. It's called Feels Like Summer. So, what listener has now texted One Extra and told the lady DJ that we are staring at her in an erotic manner?
She's looked over now and she waved hello to Joe because someone texted.
It's all very fun and light-hearted.
But now you're going to have to spend the next 2 hours and 10 minutes kind of embarrassed about the fact that...
I'm not embarrassed. Dr. Sexy doesn't get embarrassed. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to burn off a copy of Dr. Sexy. They're going to be playing that in heavy rotation on One Extra soon. It's a funky song. It would suit their playlist. We're going to start going out, Dr. Sexy. And what's she called?
I don't know. I could find out.
We better find out, because it's all kicking off. That
in
was
your
Al
mind.
Green, in my mind. That was Al Green with Feels Like Summer, from the Bell album in 1977. The first album, I'm just trying to impress her now, Al Green recorded without his regular producer, Willie Mitchell.
Oh, you know all about Al Green and his regular producer.
Jenna G.
Jenna G.
Jenna G, is that G-double-E or just the letter G?
Just the letter G.
Ooh, what's your name going to be then?
Dr. Sexy MD.
Joey C.
Joey C. The cornballs. The Jaco. The Jaco. That's
Joe
what they
Bot.
call me.
This is Adam and Joe here on BBC Six Music. It's trail time right now, and then after that we're going to have some exciting session music for you. Stay tuned, listeners. Coming up very shortly in the next hour is going to be Text the Nation, the nation's favourite feature. But right now, here's the trail.
And that's The Squeeze with Hourglass. It was recorded in session for
Emma Freud?
Yeah.
On Radio 1.
Yeah, that was, she was analysing them, you know?
Was she?
Yeah.
Was she really a DJ on Radio 1 in 1994? I guess.
The lunchtime show.
The lunchtime, of course she did. The legendary Freud lunchtime show.
And that was good, wasn't it? But it sounds very different to your studio recorded Squeeze.
It's not the classic Squeeze sound.
There's something going on with his voice and just the general feel of their records that somehow for me didn't come across there.
It's a little bit thin.
Yeah, or just a little bit live sounding, amateurish sounding.
Well, it was live, Joe.
Yeah. Is that the explanation?
Yeah. It was a session.
I see. Good though.
Yeah.
Squeeze. He was on later last night, wasn't he, Mr. Squeeze Man?
He was on later, yeah, along with the Fartellis.
Yeah, it was quite a good show last night, didn't you think?
Yeah, the Fartellis were really playing their socks off.
What did they have written on their amp?
Guinea something Scottish.
Nye something. War or something?
Nay Wanga something. I don't know.
They had something provocative.
It was.
And they looked quite happy about it.
They did. The drummer looks insane.
Really?
Yeah, from the Fratellis. No, it was good. It was a wicked show.
So, listeners, Adam and I have been attempting to do a bit of publicity for our forthcoming Song Wars Volume 1 album that's going to be on iTunes and stuff fairly soon. And we got asked to do a photo shoot for the Sunday Times Style magazine. We've never done a photo shoot for a style magazine or even a stylish magazine.
We haven't done a photo shoot for anything
for years.
For a long time. We did a photo shoot last year for when we joined the Big British Castle, and with our stupid faces kind of gurning and pointing, which is what we usually get asked to do.
Yeah. Before we went to this photo shoot, we talked amongst ourselves, and we thought we decided we were going to try and make the photographer make us look cool.
Yeah, because this is the thing, you know. If you're a kind of stupid comedy duo, people always make you pull faces and stuff, and deep down, what you really want is to look cool. Is to be like, oh, these guys are sexy.
The photo of us on the Six Music website looks like a couple of, I don't know, complete idiot children's television presenters that you wouldn't let anywhere near your children.
Yeah, so...
Well, that's not good.
No, that isn't good. Even if that's what we're like, that's not good, you know?
Yeah.
We want people to be confused into thinking that we're some kind of enigmatic, sexy duo.
Yeah. Enough of the pointing and the gurning. More brooding.
Exactly.
And, like, lurking in shadows.
That's right.
Because that's what ladies find attractive. Where was I?
So this time we had none other than Peru, the photographer.
Now, if you watch the Channel 5 series Make Me a Supermodel, you'll know who Peru is. He's a very fashionable photographer man who was made in that series to look like a bit of an eccentric, crazy, trendy madman. In person, he was extremely nice.
Yeah.
Very level-headed. And what a really good, he took some good photos.
He's a brilliant photographer as well, because sometimes, if you get your photograph taken, it can take hours and it's torture. And it's one of the most unpleasant things you ever have to do. And I wouldn't be a model, even if I was sexy, for millions and millions of pounds.
He was like one of those doctors who, you know, when you go for an injection and the doctor says, okay, well, there's going to be 2 injections. First one you won't feel at all. The second one might be a bit painful.
Right.
So here's the first one. Then, of course, he reveals that there's only 1 injection.
That's right.
Peru did that he took the photos before we even knew we were posing.
Yeah.
You know, and the second we actually knew we were having the photos taken, he would say, well, I'm not going to use those ones because you're trying too hard.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So it was totally painless. And then the stylist turned up.
Then the stylist, who was an extremely nice man, but he had some bags full of the most ridiculous clothes we've ever seen. If this is style, then the high street's in trouble.
Because
there's already this thing going on with hoodies and sweatshirts where scribbling on stuff is the way to go. The more intricate, scribbly design you can have, the more fashionable you are. You know, as if you've fallen asleep on some kind of daguerreotype. Is that the word? And it's come off on your top. But you don't worry about it.
In fact, you're happy.
That's basically how kids dress these days, right? One of those scribbly shirts and very tight jeans with one of those metal studded belts at a jaunty angle.
Yes.
The pants coming out of the top
very tight jeans that make them look as if they're totally out of proportion, even if they're really not. Even
that's the effect, is to get the big head.
Yeah.
It's almost the Japanese thing from about 10 years ago.
Yeah, little black.
And then the big kind of goth wedge, and then a hat with as intricate a design as possible, a baseball cap.
A little sort of porky pie hat.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So we were dressed a little bit like that.
We were dressed like a couple of idiots, but we embraced it.
Yeah.
I felt quite nervous, but then you kind of went for the most ridiculous possible clothes, and
the stylist wasn't very happy about it.
He looked worried, and he said at the end, I was a little worried at first. But that turned out all right, I think.
Because I got a sun visor out of the dressing up bag and I put it on upside down and stuff.
The problem is...
And he didn't like it.
The point of this rant is that I'm not sure whether in the finished photos it will come across as we're in any way joking.
Exactly. It might look like totally unironic, two pratty sort of DJs
who think they're super cool. And actually, we had flowery shoes, listeners. What kind of a person wears shoes with lots of little flowers on them? Who's a man?
Either a genius or a total prat. So we'll have to find out.
That's fashion for you, though.
We'll let you know when that's in the mags. It probably won't be until June sometime when the album comes out.
Never. They'll probably pull the piece.
But yes, we'll shout about it. We'll shout about it.
Wow.
I said that while I was thinking about you saying pull the piece.
That's almost as bad as what was my one?
Let's not go back there.
Let's not go back there.
Sun-kissed.
Quick music.
That is wicked. Supergrass with Rebel in You. This is Adam and Joe here on BBC Six Music. And the sun is properly coming out now, listeners, I'm glad to tell you. And it's good all over the UK, right? I mean, I'm not being London-centric by saying it's going to be a hot,
I think it might be
weekend.
patchy over the West Country and Ireland.
Really?
According to the weather forecast last night, but the weather forecast's often wrong.
So wait, there's an Apache over the West Country?
There's an Apache Indian is doing a massive concert
Apache
all over the West Country.
That would be wicked, man. I'd be happy about that.
Apache Indian has hired an enormous Zeppelin. And he is playing a live gig on it, and he's
Find
hovering.
your body, wiggle your belly.
He's hovering over Taunton currently, because that's where most of the Apache Indian fans live.
Excellent.
This is Adam and Joe on BBC Six Music. I have to apologise to Keith. We like to get very personal with listeners for being disparaging about Hot Hot Heat earlier, saying that song. But what I was saying was that song was so good. It almost made it difficult for them to beat it.
Is he upset about that? We didn't say anything bad about Hot Hot.
He's rightly saying that they've got a lot of great songs and a lot of great albums. And he's saying that we're going to incur the wrath of Hot Hot Heat fans like you did the wrath of the Aha fans.
I'm not bothered about either of those groups.
Really? And apparently I don't think we're ever going to hear the end of it.
I like Hot Hot Heat, though. I'm not bothered about Aha. But I don't think we offended Hot Hot Heat fans unless they're clinically insane. Like Keith. I'm joking, Keith.
There's something else to email in about.
I'm just joking there, Keith. Now, folks, it's time to launch the nation's favourite feature. Let's have the jingle.
Text the nation. Text the nation.
What if I don't want to?
Text the nation.
But I'm using email. Is that a problem?
It doesn't matter, text.
What are you worried about, Dr.
I was going to
Sexy?
say that I needed a jingle. My brain's not capable of understanding the segment unless it's sung and explained in a musical way.
Jingleized.
That's fine. Weren't you going to redo that jingle?
Well, yeah, well, weren't you going to chip in?
Maybe.
Maybe. No, I was going to, and I was thinking about it last night, and I was thinking, I'm running out of time, and I had to do some things, and...
It's all right. I'll let you off the stick.
I'll get on it. So listen, folks, this week, Text the Nation, we're talking about the sun, obviously, and the summertime fun that we're all going to have. But we specifically want to hear about your opinions of the downside, the worst things.
Now, you should contextualize this somehow, because for most people, the beginning of summer, especially after last year's washout, is going to be very exciting.
Yeah.
And a very positive thing. We don't want to come across like a couple of filthy, curmudgeonly, washed-up old losers. I mean...
Perish the thought. But no, I'm just saying this is the flip side. Obviously, everyone loves summer. Everyone's excited by the onset of summer. But my problem is that it's too much of one thing or the other. Like a lot of the time, I complain about when it's windy and cold and wet. I don't like it. I look forward to a nice sunny day, but I like a nice, fairly cold sunny day. I don't like it when it gets really hot.
You're very weather responsive. You're like an old bit of seaweed.
I am exactly like an old bit of seaweed.
Dangling from some kind of a pub.
And when it gets very hot in the city...
Like a rafter in a pub. I forgot the word for what a rafter is.
A beam?
Yeah, thanks.
A rafter. So, I'm specifically talking about... This is mainly an urban thing, I suppose, When it gets too hot and you're in the city and it's all muggy and stuff...
Yeah, this is almost like we need to produce a manifesto for things to avoid about the summer. Mm-hmm. To really make this summer the best summer of all... we need to pinpoint things that are annoying about the summer.
Well, here's a few examples just off the top of my head. Thing number one. that you always forget about, that is offensive about hot weather, especially in cities. Men with their shirts off. That's totally unacceptable, I find. Do you not?
I agree.
And, you know, nowadays, no one stands on any kind of convention in that way anymore, so no one bats an eyelid. But inside, I still think a lot of people are thinking, don't wander around with your shirt off, and more particularly, don't stand in a queue in a shop so you're shoulder to shoulder right with a kind of bare-fleshed man.
You know what I'm trying to bring back? Is bring back they never existed. I want to invent and market man bras. I find men's nipples, I don't want to see them.
The bro. Don't you remember there was a Seinfeld episode all about that?
Well, they should bring in the bro as quickly as possible. In magazines in my house, if there's a topless man, I will draw a bra.
Right.
2 black circles over the nipples and a line and a strap. Just because I don't want those nipples staring at me around the house.
Especially as they have the little tufty hair.
Don't you think you agree, Jude? You're a lady. Do you like to see men's nipples around the place?
Nipples are fine. I don't like armpits.
Armpit
right,
hairs.
they're very close to each other.
All the tufty. I mean, generally, the men that remove their shirts are sort of hairless young chaps.
Do you think? Not in my neck of the woods.
But no, this is the thing, that sometimes they're sort of hairy men. And it's never in between. You don't get very many sexy hairy men taking their clothes off, their shirts off in public. You either get young, sort of thin men with
like
not much hair, like Dr. Sexy.
Like me.
Or you get just old blokes who clearly have no shame anymore and they've just got a big gut.
Like you.
Like me. But I wouldn't remove my shirt in public because I'm correctly ashamed of what lies beneath. You know what I mean? I think there's a time and a place for it. My wife's delighted, obviously. And she can see it. Not that she wants to. But I'm getting into a kind of bad area.
What are you talking about now?
I don't know.
Hey, I wrote a kind of list of things that annoy me that I could run through quickly about the sun. And it starts with, yes, men sunbathing in the park in their underwear, seeing people's underwear in the street poking up from, you know, under the trousers, or just generally underwear on display, not very nice.
This is with men, right?
Or unattractive ladies.
Unattractive ladies, yeah.
That's not a bit prejudiced against unattractive people, but there you go.
It's a bit sexist.
Live with it. Dr. Sexist.
Sexist.
Things in the grass that shouldn't be there. You sit in the park, you lie on the grass, you think you're having a lovely time. Suddenly you see some disgusting old fag end or a lump of phlegm or some old ice cream next to you. Keep the grass clean.
Terrible. Do you know, this genuinely happened to me once. I thought I saw a jewel in the grass.
A jewel in the grass. That's coming on the BBC later this year, isn't it?
Jewel
Their
in
flagship
the grass.
series.
Yeah.
With Jenny Craddock.
And I'm not talking about like a winsome lady singer. I thought it was like a little jewel there, and I bent over to pick up the jewel, and just before my fingers made contact with it, I realised that it was a group of flies around a dog Todd.
The most precious gem of all. You should have mounted it on a brooch, like Damien Hirst. That's the kind of brooch Damien Hirst would wear.
It looked like something that had tumbled from a brooch, but actually it was a group of flies on a doggy Todd, and I nearly grabbed it. Anyway, carry on.
Another thing that's bad about the summer is rapid stink build-up.
Oh, correct.
Everywhere.
Bins.
On clothes, bodies, bins, objects. Everything stinks a lot faster.
Absolutely.
Another bad thing is loud music. Everyone thinking they're a DJ. Open-top cars, people with their windows open playing really loud music. I don't like that at all.
And here's the other thing, clothes-wise. The flip side of the whole thing is when the ladies wander around in their undies, and it's just confusing for the trouser areas.
It's crashes, car crashes.
It just sentimental.
We got lots more of these, but do text us with your ideas. 64046 is the text number for Textination. Things that are annoying about the summer that we should all make an effort to avoid.
Now here's Feist with My Moon, My Man. I like it when there's a little bit of drama at the end of a song like that. She's run off.
Oh, that was it. She was leaving.
Yeah, that's My Moon and My Man, or rather just My Moon, My Man by Feist. Lovely Feist.
We're in the middle of explaining this week's Text the Nation, which is annoying things about the summer that we're all going to strive to avoid so that we can enjoy this one, what seems to be occurring to the maximum. I was running through a list of stuff. What was the last one I did? Loud music. Everyone thinks they're a DJ.
Yeah, that's miserable.
And everyone assumes that everyone else is going to be in the middle of doing something in their garden. They'll overhear a record from a neighbour, and they'll go, "Oh, wicked! I love this record," and start dancing. Well, that's never the case, is it?
No.
There's something weird about someone you don't know playing music. For instance, a couple of men on a radio station.
Yeah.
That is weirdly off-putting.
But you make a choice, though, don't you, to tune into those couple of weird men. Music is a personal thing, you know? Unless you're choosing to go to a club or a festival, keep it to yourself,
Shouldn't have
please.
it forced on you. Another annoying thing about summer is when you've got to work indoors.
Yeah.
What cruel twist of fate made exam season during the summer?
That is true.
Who thought of
isn't it?
that? What an idiot.
That is ludicrous
Much better
behaviour.
to have it, when would be the best time to have exam season?
Well,
You
just
don't
before
wanna ruin-
Christmas.
Never. Before Christmas.
Before Christmas, because then you get
That
it
would
over and
make
done
Christmas
with.
amazing.
Then it's
wouldn't
like, absolutely, I mean,
that's
Christmas is
true.
good anyway,
That's
but
true.
it's total euphoria after that.
It's idiocy to have it during the summer.
Lunacy, because my birthday is in June, and it always was right in the middle of exams. No one was in the mood for celebrating. It was torture.
Terrible business. I think on when the temperature reaches a certain level, and this is the case in Mediterranean countries, it should be no one should have to go to work, right?
Right.
There should be a temperature at which it's actually illegal and physically wrong for people to go inside buildings.
And that wouldn't be counteracted by air conditioning.
What do you mean?
I'm just saying that obviously in hot countries you have air conditioning.
Yeah.
In some hot countries that is, and so people go about their business.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, I'd ban air conditioning.
Yeah, good idea. Well, it's bad for the planet.
Another annoying thing about the summer is Big Brother starting again, like Satan moving in next door. You know, an awful temptress, an evil temptress. Will you watch it, won't you? You have conversations about will you watch it, won't you?
Right.
Just the thought of Big Brother like an awful ticking clock, a dripping tap that's going to last until the winter.
Is it still on this? Is it?
If they're bringing it back, just let it go. It's awful rubbish.
It does well, though, for them.
Says Jaco. Does it?
People like
If it
it.
will this year. Another annoying thing, sport on television in the summer. Non-stop sport, personally not interested.
Cricket.
Another annoying thing, the constant temptation to riot.
Right. Yeah,
Personally, in the summer, anything will set me off. Right now, I feel like chucking a Molotov cocktail at Jude and smashing this studio up.
Everyone likes rioting. Yeah,
I'm at
'cause
boiling point the whole time.
It's like do the right thing all the time with you, isn't
Bins
it?
through windows.
Yeah.
With everybody, every bun with every bun in the bun.
Yeah,
in the
bun
oven.
fights.
That's it. That's my list.
Also, I was thinking, are you on top of the whole skin cream thing, sun cream thing?
Not
do you
really.
remember to put it on? Because you've got to put the stuff on, right? And I always forget at the beginning of the summer that nowadays, the sun is like a vicious thug that comes out and
It's as if it's raining knives.
it brutalizes you within about half an hour. If it's a really hot day, all you need now is half an hour in the UK and you're stuffed, you're burned. You've got to get that sun cream on you. Otherwise you're gonna get the skin canker and it's gonna be awful.
It's like a giant death ray.
Yeah.
Why do we like summer? It's like someone's trying to kill everybody.
That's right.
Burn!
Yeah, well, just like ants
We should run
underneath
from it.
a giant magnifying glass. It's ludicrous. Anyway, listen, keep your ideas coming in for the worst things about summer. The more peculiar, the better, I suppose.
The text number is 64046.
And right now, here's a free choice for you listeners. This is XTC from their amazing album Drums and Wires, and this is the last track. Hope you enjoy it. This is called Limelight.
Guillemots with Falling Out of Reach. That's annoying, isn't it? He's going to have to get up and get it now.
That's a lovely song, though.
This is Adam and Joe on BBC Six Music. It's time for the news and the music news, but first the news read by Harvey Cook.
Susie and the Banshees with Happy House, and that's the song that actually christened the genre of Happy House. But obviously, you know, the Happy House didn't end up sounding very much like that. It sounded very different in the end. But, I'm just talking absolute rubbish. That was Susie and the Banshees, and this is Adam and Joe here on BBC Six Music. Let's have the jingle.
Text the nation. Text the nation.
What if I don't want to?
Text the nation.
But I'm using email. Is that a problem?
It doesn't matter, text.
Text the Nation this week is annoying things we should outlaw about summer. We're not bringing you down, listeners, about summer. We think it's wonderful, and like you, we're going to be enjoying it this weekend, but we thought it might be good to draw up a manifesto of stuff that should be stamped out. We're going to form a police force made of our listeners. They'll have uniforms and powers, and they'll go around stopping various sorts of activities. And, you know, we're just drawing up a charter of action for them.
Well, we just want to create the perfect summer.
They will have those sticks that they have in THX 1138.
Sort of electric sticks.
Electric prods, yeah.
They have those in Tron as well.
Do they? Well, that's what they're going to have. They'll have 3 settings. Punish, stun, kill. And those are the 3 punishments they can dish out.
Punishment, yeah. Punish, stun, kill.
Yeah.
Well, punish. What's the punish one then?
Just to hit, you just hit someone. Quick
I
shock,
see.
like a little electric shock.
Right. So have you got any?
Stun, you actually knock them out for 10 minutes.
Do you?
Kill, knock them out permanently.
That's a bit extreme, isn't it? And this would be for something like not wearing your shirt in the queue for a shop.
Yes.
You might be killed by one of our policemen.
That's what we're saying.
So you should take these things seriously.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of text responses are we getting there?
Laura says, bad things about summer, the smell of hot urine.
That's a good one. Well, we were talking before about bins and things like that.
What's the matter, Jude?
That was only half the message.
What? Oh, that's all I can see.
What, does it get sexy after that?
No.
Coming off the pavement was the
Oh, right.
wasn't it?
Steaming up the pavement.
Well, yeah, that was taken as read. That's what I assumed. I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, she's not going to drink a hot cup of.
It's not like summertime is the only time she realises
Yeah.
that she doesnn't like the smell.
Not that it's going to be the delicious smell wafting from cafes and hot dog stands. Oh, the smell of hot urine. What kind of a world do you live in, Jude? Someone else who is anonymous says, says, my granddad saying, I like it hot, but not this hot. Or upon greeting, he says, hot enough for you. That's true, that hot weather does bring out dad phrases.
My dad would always complain because he grew up in the country as a lad, and he didn't like
dry heat.
Right. He didn't like being trapped in the city when it was sunny. So whenever the sun would come out, he'd go, ugh,
A filthy hot day.
because he didn't like it at all.
Dads are obsessed with dry heat and moist heat, aren't they? And the difference between the
humidity.
heat in the Mediterranean and the UK.
That's right.
Humidity, what is it about that? There's a whole generation before us that was obsessed with humidity.
Well, the older you get, the more you notice
more sensitive
humidity.
you are.
Yeah, exactly. And you
like
just
an old bit of seaweed hanging from a rafter.
Here we go. The beam.
Here's another one from Helen in Lewisham. Because the sunny days are so rare, there's too much pressure to be out there, in it, having fun. In it. If you need to stay in, you feel guilty, or you get the feeling that everyone's at a barbecue or a party except you. Too much pressure, she puts in capital letters.
Yeah.
From Helen in Lewisham. That's true, isn't it?
It is. It's like New Year's Eve all year round kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, our police would punish people for pressurizing other people into having fun.
That's right. Would they kill them?
Well, I don't know. That's up to the individual officer.
With the kill stick?
And his interpretation of the situation. There is room for, thought.
Have you been pressuring that person into going out having a good time, please? Had to kill him for that.
Dead. Called a disposal.
You won't be doing that again. Siggy?
Another one from Anne-Marie is Flying Ant Day. Horrible. There's, of course, one day in the year where all the man ants grow wings and go flying around, and the lady ants, and they all make sweet love in the air. I don't know whether scientists know what day it is. I think it's a mystery how they communicate it and how the day is chosen.
True, isn't it? And you get swarms of them. And if you're riding your bike as well, you can suddenly go through a black cloud of these things, and they're in your hair. And if I've got a beard at that point,
All in your beard.
it's all in my beard. Oh, it's horrible.
That does sound horrible. Has that actually happened?
Once or
Ants in your
twice,
beard.
flying ants in the beard. It's no good. No one likes
Nasty. Here's another anonymous one. I hate that there's always still strong wind in hot weather, so that skirts are impossible to wear with any dignity. That's a lady problem.
I like it.
Yeah, we like that.
Dr. Sexy likes that, surely.
Dr. Sexy likes that a lot. In fact, Dr. Sexy is creating the wind.
We'll hear some more of your text about things that
Not
are not
in that
so
way.
great
Just
about
with a big
summer.
fan round the corner.
I'm just ignoring Dr. Sexy's comments about wind.
Dr. Sexy's going to be in trouble.
Now, here's Vampire Weekend. They were playing this song, Oxford Comma, on Jonathan Ross's show last night, but they were playing the sweary version, because this features some prominent swearing, right? I haven't heard the radio version. I'm interested to see what they do instead
Is this their new single?
Yeah, instead of the F word.
I do believe Richard Adoye has done the video.
Has he? He's a talented video
He's
director.
the guy from the IT crowd, if you don't know that, listeners.
There you
Anyway,
go.
here's the record.
Oxford Comma. That's Vampire Weekend with Oxford Comma. That's released as a single on the 26th of May.
Jonathan Ross was teasing them, wasn't he, at the top of his show? He was teasing one of them for wearing different clothes.
Because they're sort of
than the
nerdy
others.
looking, yeah.
They looked actually genuinely hurt.
They looked
And then
uncomfortable.
he said at the end of that, Vampire Weekend, a foursome about to become a threesome.
That's right.
Didn't he? And that guy looked really upset. That you don't say that kind of thing to groups.
No,
Of
because
course, Jonathan can say anything he wants, but, groups, they're very insecure. There's all sorts of conflicts between them. God knows what horrible things that would have, stoked in the man's brain. You could see the anxiety in his eyes.
Exactly.
I felt sorry for them.
And
they're a great band.
It might have sowed a seed in the lead singer's brain as well.
He's going to split them up.
Exactly. You know, we don't want too many talk show hosts thinking that you're, a misfit. If they think you're a misfit, who knows what the public are going to think. We're going to have to get rid of you, my friend. And it all started with Jonathan Ross.
Who was that guy? Which one of them was that?
That was the lead singer.
Was it? Oh, so he's probably okay.
Oh, no, you mean the guy? No,
the guy they were picking on, the guy that was wearing white. Everyone, the rest of the band were wearing black, and he was just wearing white for some reason.
It might have been the drummer.
The drummers are always the first to go.
Always the first. They're easily replaceable.
Rossi.
Anyone can play the drums.
Really?
That's a joke. Vampire Weekend are playing in town this week. Where are they? 12th of May at the Wedgwood Rooms in London. 13th of May at the Electric Ballroom. I can't go to any of these. I'm away this week, unfortunately. They are supposed to be an amazing live proposition. Vampire Weekend, like tight as can be. So I would strongly recommend you go and seek them out. I wonder if they're playing any festivals. Are they in the UK? I don't know. Anyway, now, Joe, Dr. Sexy's got a choice coming up right now, hasn't
Yeah, it's
he?
free play time. This is a slightly bad audio quality free play, but after the show last weekend, I stumbled upon a showing of a film on ITV2 called The Jerk, a very famous Steve Martin film.
That's a smash.
And, man, it was amazingly good. I hadn't seen it for years, but so funny. Directed by Carl Reiner, who did all the classic...
Rob Reiner's dad.
There you go. And co-written by the guy that co-wrote Jaws, would you believe?
Was it really?
But an amazingly funny script and really kind of...
well, it's the sort of granddaddy of those kind of Will Ferrell comedies, you know?
Absolutely, yeah. Loads of the ideas are kind of... Lots of stuff from that Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story, nicked out of The Jerk. Lots of Jim Carrey stuff.
Right.
Wouldn't say nicked, but very, very influenced by The Jerk. And if you happen to have never seen it, then you really should see it, because it really stands up.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
And there's a bit in it where he goes for a romantic... Steve Martin kind of plays this jerk, this complete loser, and he romances Bernadette Peters, who's amazing as well. And they have this little scene on the beach where he's singing her a romantic song. He gets out his ukulele. As you know, in real life, Steve Martin is an amazing ukulele fiend, a brilliant player. And he sings the song I'm about to play you. And check out the end, because he's just kind of serenading her, and she joins in, doesn't she? And then you think the song's ended, and then do you remember what happens, Adam?
No, what happens after that? It's like, well, does she get out like a trumpet or something?
Yeah, she produces a trumpet and starts playing along, and it all starts up again. There's a little bit of jokage at the end as well. I don't know whether we'll play that. We'll see how we get on. This is Steve Martin and Bernadette Peters from The Jerk, and the song's called Tonight You Belong to Me.
While you were playing that just now, I had the craziest fantasy that I could rise up, float, right down the end of this cornet, right through here, through these valves, right along this tube, come right up against your lips, and give you a kiss. I didn't want to get spit on me.
Sounds like they're by a motorway there, but actually by the sea. That's Steve Martin and Bernadette Peters with Tonight You Belong to Me from The Jerk.
That's a smash. Yeah, you got to see The Jerk. So many good lines in there, most of which are unrepeatable.
My special purpose.
My special purpose. I'm going to find a typical run-of-the-mill bastard, and I'm going to shoot at him.
That's not nothing to do with The Jerk. This is Adam's just having a mental breakdown. This is Adam and Joe on BBC Six Music.
It's trail time. Here it is. Well done. That's the Ravenettes with Love in a Trash Can. That was recorded for Gideon Coe as a live session, and wonderful it was too, although the album version is very good as well. So even better, maybe, than the session version? I don't know.
The beautiful One Extra DJ in the Next Door studio, if you've just tuned in, One Extra are doing their show from the Next Door studio. We're divided by a big glass screen so we can see them very clearly.
You can see us on the webcam if you
The DJ's very beautiful. They've just asked whether Adam is single.
Well, I think they were curious about both of us. I saw them.
I don't think they were. I think she was straight for Dr. Buckles.
Really?
It's Dr. Sexy. She didn't even appear on her radar. It was straight for Buckles. And that was pretty much a marriage proposal.
It could have been one of the other members of the team, one of the men.
No, I think it was definitely Lovelina. Lovelina Sexy Face, as I like to call her.
What's her name? What's her real name?
Jenna G.
Jenna G.
Yeah. Anyway.
She's got energy.
Let's try and focus.
Is that her catchphrase? Because it should be.
Let's have the Text the Nation jingle, can we, just to clear the air?
Text the Nation. Text the Nation.
What if I don't want to?
Text the Nation.
But I'm using email. Is that a problem?
It doesn't matter, text.
And we are asking you to text us or email us about things that aren't so great about the summer.
Now, here's a German phrase I'm going to ask you to attempt to read, Adam. It's by my thumb.
Po-Schweiz?
Po-Schweiz is the German word for the sweat you get at the top of your botty cheeks in summer. This cools amazingly quickly, leading me to believe Ray Mears uses sweaty bums as a last-ditch supply of drinking water.
I remember the members of Travis used to refer to that stuff as Spee.
Really?
Yeah.
What, and this is the sweat that gathers on the top of the buttocks?
Yeah. It's around that area.
Sweat?
Around that area, right.
Really?
Yeah.
That's from Stefan in Brixton. I'm going to be watching out for that this summer.
No, it's not. It's not a pleasant phenomenon at all. It's revolting stuff. Another thing that I was thinking of as well. And carry on with text.
No, you carry on with your thing.
Yeah, but I've lost my piece of paper.
Okay. Emily says, I also hate queuing behind smug, posh couples in supermarkets buying their posh food for their smug barbecues. She's got some mental problems.
She's got some chips on her shoulder there.
I like the idea that without saying anything, someone behind you might just be fuming at what you've bought.
I know. Well, I often feel paranoid about things like that at supermarkets, and I think, oh, well, it's all in your mind. People aren't as mental as you are.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
That's another Text the Nation supermarket psychological problems. For vegetarians, one of the annoying things about summer is the smell of burning meat from barbecues floating by and going on his washing, says the Jazz Grandad.
Jazz Grandad. Well, listen, barbecues is a whole area that you could talk about.
You said that as if you know the Jazz Grandad. Jazz Grandad.
Jazzy Grandad. Hey, how you doing, JG? But, barbecues are great and fun, especially if you're attending them. But if you are putting on a barbecue, if you wake up one day and think, I'm going to get the barbecue out, give it a quick clean, and we'll have some barbecue fun, then you're in for a day of non-stop pain.
There seems to be a class division that summer brings out. Mm-hmm. Posh people just like to chit-chat and drink Pims. Mm-hmm. And enjoy the sound of chitty-chattering drifting over summer meadows. Whereas less posh people seem to want to play loud music, have drink beer, and act as if the world is some sort of a zoo.
And riot.
For instance, here's one from Nick in Cardiff. There's a house near us that once the sun comes out, decides to act as if they were in some sort of rap video and put on music really loud and drink outside. The latter's fair enough, really, but when the music's blaring out from an old Ford Fiesta, I draw the line.
Absolutely.
Class war.
It does. It all goes off. It's like Do the Right Thing, though, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, that's one of the ultimate films about tensions. In that film, obviously, it's racial tension, but things spilling over and encouraged by the heat. There's such an amazing atmosphere of oppressive heat in that film. That's brilliant for all that.
Yeah,
tension.
Here's another good one, well pointed out by Spencer in Dalston. He says, showing off in public parks. Last weekend, it was 2 Kiwi blokes practicing their flair bartending. All of the girls I was with simply mocked them. Terrible waste of space.
Bartending, that. I thought that had gone away. I used to be a bartender and we were well into flair. Flair, of course, listeners, is when you're doing
juggling with
Tom
bottles,
Cruise style.
Yeah. It was big. On Britain's Got Talent, there are a couple of guys doing that ridiculously nearly won.
Not still.
Yeah, that was that was last summer.
Oh, right.
And he also points out, Spencer, also the people who play a drum on their own.
Like the djembe drum or something. Yes.
Yeah, I just go out to the park and drum.
Well,
everybody loves my drumming.
People do like practicing. There was a guy in the park the other day, and he was juggling. He was practicing his juggling, but he wasn't very good yet. Like, he was trying to get good. But it was enjoyable, and there was people watching him. And then there was a lady painting a portrait as well, like a young lady, and she got like a crowd of people gathered round her. Everyone was just amazed that there would be someone actually painting something.
What would the Adam and Joe police do with her? Would that be a stun, a kill, or just a punish?
No, you don't get punished for painting.
Well, why are you talking about it then?
I'm just saying that the summertime brings out some of these people. people. We're not going to kill them for painting enough.
For self-expression. It's just untidy.
Well, when you put it like that, maybe we should. Here's the specials right now with a message to you, Rudy. Is it? Or is it Marvin Gaye? Oh, it's all gone very confusing.
It's the top of our sweeper.
It's the sweeper. Let's do some sweeping. In the end, it wasn't Marvin Gaye or the specials. It was Nick Cave with the Bad Seeds. Well, it just says Bad Seeds here. I don't know if we should just credit the Bad Seeds and not Nick Cave. But anyway, it was clearly Nick Cave-based fun, and that was called More News from Nowhere. This is Adam and Joe on BBC 6 Music. Joe Cornish, you're fondling your little book there. Have you got any pearls?
Not really.
For us? Well, I'm just reading a few of these texts about what we should do for Song Wars next week.
Good idea.
And a couple of these have caught my eye. Here's a quick suggestion from Song Wars. This is from Shannon from Australia. It's amazing, isn't it, that people would listen to our show in Australia. I mean, it's not amazing because it's a small world. Obviously, we're all connected by the internet, but still, it just seems extraordinary to me that someone in Australia would
What
listen
else should they be doing?
to our show.
Listening to Australian radio.
Johnny and Wongle's show.
The Johnny and Wongles show.
Yeah.
Good morning, Sydney. It's Johnny and Wongles.
I'm
Now.
Johnny. He's Wongles. Watch out, because we got a scorching show coming for you. Here's Midnight Oil.
Wow.
That's what it's
so real.
like. That's what it's like. It's the number one show. It's the number one show in Sydney. The Johnny and Wongles Hour. Here's Midnight Oil.
That's what every link sounds
Coming up, mental as anything.
like. Well done. Too bad.
That's what it's
More
like.
than I can come up with.
Men at Work. Coming up after the break. It's Johnny and Wongles. I'm joking. Australia's not like that. It's sophisticated. Anyway,
there goes our Australian listener.
Exactly. Sorry, Shannon from Australia. Just a quick suggestion for Song Wars. She says, how about a theme tune for a TV show? Lots of chances for cheesy lyrics. Not that either of you could be accused of writing cheesy lyrics. Like a existing TV show, maybe like an alternative theme for a TV show. I mean,
we kind of did that with movies, with the exit music we did, but it's certainly a good area, isn't it? Like a show that needs a better theme tune. Or I think she's suggesting theme tunes that sort of tell the story of the show in the in the tune,
like the Dukes of Hazzard theme.
Exactly. So maybe like an inappropriate application of that kind of logic.
Well, so maybe that style of theme tune for a show like Loose Women or something. You know?
Yeah, that would be quite an insulting song if I wrote it.
Here we go. Morning, guys. Great show so far, says the text there. No, it's nice. Claire in Guildford, this is. It's my 19th birthday.
She's monitoring the show. She's our quality monitor.
Yeah.
Quality control. She's got a pad and a pen and a clipboard. She's drawing a graph.
And a laser stick. It's my 19th birthday next week, and like many people, sometimes I get tired of the plain old happy birthday song. Therefore, it would make my day if you came up with a brand new birthday song for Song Wars.
That's a good idea. Now, they did this on the series Look Around You. One of the writers of that, Robert Popper, wrote a kind of amazing new...
Him and Peter Serafinowicz,
happy birthday song, yeah.
And
so we could play that.
It starts off, because I remember we were at Peter's birthday one time, and they all sang this happy birthday song. It started out like a normal happy birthday song, but then they've written a whole sort of middle eight for it, with special lyrics and everything. It's amazing. But yeah, we could do an alternative birthday song. What do you think? That's a good idea.
I think that's a very good idea, because it's very lucrative.
Yeah.
People, if you want it, you never hear people singing happy birthday in films because it's so expensive. Who owns the rights? We discussed this before, didn't we? There's
It's
some
one of
weird
these,
urban
everyone's got, some people say, oh, it's Paul McCartney or it's Michael Jackson or I don't know what, or it's enshrined in.
We did find out once, didn't we? I don't think it's any of those famous people. I think it's some non-famous person, but somebody does own the rights. And if you want to sing it in a song, you have to pay them a lot of money. So we could write a new one and ka-ching.
Yeah, that's the holy grail for songwriters, surely, to write the new birthday song that becomes the standard. A couple of other suggestions. A Eurovision song.
When is Eurovision? Is that coming up this summer? 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And who's the British entry?
He's a bin man.
Oh, right, he's the fella off the X Factor.
Darren?
Yeah, no, I remember him. He was a good chap.
This is Peter.
Is it him? Is that right?
Peter from Kettering saying Eurovision. I'm sure you've had this suggested many times already, but what with Eurovision taking place shortly, surely that's got tons of potential, as demonstrated by Neil Hannon on the thing he did for the Culture Show. Presumably they got him to write something Eurovision-esque.
I find that a bit of a broad remit.
Really, a bit too broad.
Well, it can be anything. A song for Europe can be anything.
Well, Peter also suggests a trip to the supermarket, which we were talking about before. Empty shelves, annoying people in the queues, trolley rage, security guard that always seems to be following you around.
In European supermarket.
Of course you did. The classic European supermarket. That'll be available on the Song Wars album. Lego, something about Lego.
Something about Lego.
50th birthday in 2008. These are good suggestions, Peter, but so far I'm veering towards the birthday thing.
Birthday song. I was thinking a new national anthem as well.
Oh.
A new British national anthem.
That's a good idea.
Some proper lyrics. I mean, it's tempting. That's a bit political, isn't it? It's tempting just to go into more binge drinking stuff.
Something about Bojo the Clown.
I like birthdays because that needs to be sung by children, doesn't it? It needs to be super simple.
Yes.
It needs to work as a melody without even any backing music, just sung.
That's a challenge.
It needs to be corruptible as well. You need to be able to make a sort of insulting version of it. To be hurtful, because it's always good to hurt someone's feelings on their birthday.
Well, listen, Claire in Guildford, thank you for your suggestion. I think we're going to go with that. I think we're going to go with a new birthday song.
Is it official?
Yeah, it's official. A new birthday song is next week's Song Wars mission. Right now, here's some proper music. This is the Velvets with He Was Really Saying Something. That's the Velvets with Really Saying Something. Didn't Bananarama cover that? Yeah, they did. Quite successfully, I think, as well, you know. Are they still the biggest girl group of all time, Bananarama? No.
So many questions.
Who would have replaced them, do you think?
Girls Aloud.
Girls Aloud.
Or Spice Girls.
Girls Aloud are phenomenally successful, aren't they? I poured scorn on them. I've got absolutely no idea, you know, who's going to be the big ones. Do you remember we've talked about this before, maybe, when we were doing the Adam and Joe show?
Who's going to be the big ones?
Yeah, you know, like, who's going to become successful?
Oh, when a band first emerged, whether they're going to be lasting or just wither.
Like, when we started doing the Adam and Joe show, we wanted to do a thing about, like, having a silly teen band in the studio that we would ridicule. And we were offered Atomic Kitten, because they had just started out. And I said, no, they are absolutely useless.
Who was the other band we were offered who did it in the end?
Buffalo G.
Yes, Adam plumped for Buffalo G. He put his money on the G.
They were very good, and they
were lovely.
They did an excellent job. Yeah. But Atomic Kitten certainly had a few years in the sunshine unexpectedly, and nobody saw that coming, least of all me. Anyway, here's a free play for you now, listeners. I picked this one for you. This is one of the records that we get sent here every now and again. I listened to it, and it was an absolute peach right the way through. This is a guy called Jape, and he's from Dublin. I think his name is Richard Egan, and this is his third album, Ritual, and he's a little bit like Simple Kid. Did you ever listen to Simple Kid, Joe? It sort of reminds me of that sort of lo-fi-ish, slightly Beck folky thing going on.
Toytronica.
Yeah, but not so much, you know, it's a little more muscular than that. And in fact, the Raconteurs are big fans of this guy, Jape, and they sang this song, I Was a Man, apparently every night on their tour last year they covered it. And I can see why. It's really got something. It's got a few prominent swears in it, which I've pasted over with my young son Frank, with some non-controversial talking from him when he was about 2. So I hope you enjoy this. This is Jape with I Was a Man.
Got myself on and I got raised up. Someone said lucky, others said naughty. I was a man. I was a man. I popped my cherry to November rain. I think she liked it, but don't think she chocolate biscuits. I was a man. I was a man.
Crikey, O'Reilly, what happened there?
Stop there. I don't know what happened.
Does it end like that, really?
No, it just cut out.
That was part of the Dr. Buckles remix. Dr. Buckles decided it should stop dead right there.
That would be quite a good thing. That's the kind of thing Richard James of the Aphex Twin would do, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've remixed your track for you. It's just silence now, okay? Get your head around that.
That was good. Frank did a very good job there of providing some, clean bits of verbiage.
Yeah, Jape, that was with I Was a Man from the album Ritual. This is Adam and Joe here on BBC 6 Music. Let's have the jingle.
Text the nation. Text the nation.
What if I don't want to?
Text the nation.
But I'm using email. Is that a problem?
It doesn't matter, text.
Now, we're talking on Text the Nation today about annoying things about the summer. I say again, we're not trying to bring the summer down. We're just as excited in what's the word for enjoying something?
Sexed up?
Yes. We're just as sexed up about the summer as the next man. But we think there are some things about it that are annoying, and to make it perfect should be stamped out by a new police force that we've invented today, the Adam and Joe Police Force. It's made up of you, the listeners, who we're going to send special uniforms, and we're going to arm you with sticks, summer sticks, which have 3 powers. They can punish, stun, or kill. And some of our listeners have really embraced this idea in a slightly troubling manner. For instance, Lee says, "I'd happily stun, stroke, kill any skinny poser who juggles badly or plays with those stick and rope things in crowded parks." I think we mentioned these before. Just send me the hardware.
What's wrong with those guys? Come on, who are they hurting? I think it's nice if you're doing a little bit of juggling. If you're a good juggler as well, then that's just good juggling.
I agree with you completely. However, Lee doesn't, and he's prepared to go to prison.
He's going to use the kill stick on them.
Tim as well is very keen on the kill stick. Bad barbecue food should be outlawed. I love a good barbecue, but most of the time it's burnt, undercooked, or both. A stun offence on the police death sticks.
Yeah, well, that's true, isn't it? But I mean, it's less about the food than the ambience with a barbecue.
You know what? I'm scaling down the police force. I think it would be better if they didn't have a uniform, but they were armed with the sticks, and they'd have a big colourful Adam and Joe logo on them. And at any point in a social situation, they could be pulled out and
right.
And any one of those 3 settings.
You're not worried
that
applied that people eventually would resent the police force a little bit?
Well, that's all in the day's work for the police.
Rise up against us. We'd be the most evil men in the entire world. What other people are we going to stun then?
Well, no, it's just those two. Just Lee and Tim are armed with the sticks at the moment. No one else has embraced the sticks quite so fully. Here's one from Hannah. Horrible, ugly, topless boys walking around with horrible tattoos and nipple piercings.
Well, we mentioned this before. I agree with you. Yeah, those kind of little scrawny troublemaker types.
It's bringing out the grumpy old men in the listeners, this idea for Text the Nation. Gary in Mill Hill says, from April to July, I think school kids should be banned from public transport as they are off the stink radar.
Yeah. Well, it's not just school kids, though, is it? It's lots of people.
That's not what he means, is it? He means on the stink radar in a massive way.
No, he means
off the scale.
Off the scale, right.
Off the stink scale. Schools should have decontamination wash posts set up, like in Dr. No.
That's true.
Their odour burns my nasal hair.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely true. But it's not just school kids, though, is it? It's lots of people who just forget to make proper provision for hot weather in a deodorant zone, you know? But it's also a problem of what clothes to pick out. You know, you can go for a day out on a hot day and you think it's scorching today. I want to be comfortable, so I'm going to wear my shorts and my t-shirt. You go out and then it gets to be balmy for a while, and then it's a little nippy in the evening, and then you're stuffed. You haven't got the proper clothing to deal with the situation at all, and it turns into a nightmare.
A living hell. Kevin in Yeovil says, one of the worst things about summer is sitting in a traffic jam trying to get to the beach and getting so sweaty that you become stuck to the seat. That's quite evocative for slightly more mature listeners when cars used to have plastic seats.
Vinyl seats. Ugh.
You used to be able to not sit on them, and as a child, the burnt thighs, you know, wearing shorts.
Absolutely.
When your skin actually sort of peels off them.
Well, what about when you've been to the supermarket, right? You're helping your mum with the shopping bags, you get in the car, you have to leave the car doors open for a little bit, but you know, maybe you'll just jump in there, sit on the vinyl seat, your skin melds to the is that the right word? Melges?
Yeah. No, melges is the right word.
With the vinyl. It's a nightmare.
Actually, here's someone else who likes the death stick idea, the punishment stick. They've remained anonymous, but the text goes, people with horrid feet on show! ! Sunglasses worn on the top of the head.
Come on.
Now that's quite pedantic, isn't it? Is there anything in that?
I think it's fair enough, isn't it, in the summertime?
Well, it's a very practical place to store them if you need to pop them on and off.
I know what he's saying. I know what he's saying.
It did sort of start, didn't it, in the 70s? It suddenly started, I think. It must have been like, someone must have had the idea to do it, did they? I don't know what I'm talking about.
Hey, here's another thing as well, that's not so good when it gets really hot, is sleeping at night, though. Don't you find it gets really, really hot really quickly, and it's impossible to regulate it, and then you have to put your windows down, but the noise can be very bad if you're in the city then.
That's very true. Now, Adam, I'd like you to just trail this trail.
Okay. Now, this is an exciting trail, listeners, because it's
Hang on
about...
a second. I'm going to trail you trailing the trail.
All right.
In a second, listeners, Adam is going to trail the trail.
We're going to do some jingles for trails, I think.
Yeah.
That will trail, next week we're going to have Song Wars plus jingles. I've no idea what this trail about. It just says BBC HD Gen A. What could that possibly mean?
Is it the new free sat box? There's a new free box that can get you high definition telly. I'm excited about it.
Let's find out.
Let's see. They've got Westwood to do that trailer. Now you're rolling with the big dogs.
Was that really Westwood?
Distressing the black plastic. Yes.
Macking
Why did
the
they get
cool
him to do
selection.
it? Because he's high definition. If it's pure fire, lick it twice. Tell us about the flavour, Flav. Tell us a little bit more about Afrocentricity.
Well, you can introduce Public Enemy now, can't you?
Is it Public
Westwood?
Enemy?
Yeah.
What do they got? Here's the P, the E, the Public Enemy, the Flavor Flav, the Big Clock Doctor. Live and Unplugged. Public Enemy was with
This is Live and Undrugged.
Yeah, boy! That's Public Enemy, Live and Undrugged. This is Adam and Joe on BBC Six Music. It's time for the news and the music news read by Harvey Cook and Andre Payne. It's a band called Outkast. You may not have heard that song before, but it's sure to be a smash.
Hey, I don't think you can play that song too much. I think that the more you play it, the better it sounds.
I agree.
Some of the folks in the studio here were complaining that it was kind of an obvious choice. I said you're insane, because this is a brilliant song and people love it. And when people hear it, they dance. They want to dance.
Listeners, the opposite is true. Adam was complaining. You think it's a bit played out, that song, do you?
Well, it is played
Jude and I
a lot.
disagreed.
It's a smash. It's an obvious smash.
Some songs can take that kind of playing.
That kind of punishment.
I think that one can.
I think you're probably right. I was comparing it to Love Shack by the B-52s.
I know, that's a bad
I like Love Shack, but it's sort of a wedding song now, you know what I mean? It's the kind of song that you like to hear at a wedding. I would include Hey Ya in that bracket. But maybe you're right. Maybe Hey Ya is so robust as a piece of genius music that you can just play it whenever you want to. It's also fun to play on the guitar, listeners, because it's only got 4 simple chords.
Is that so?
Yeah. It's mainly G, C, E minor, D maybe, I can't remember. That's a good one. Yeah, if you can get all the lyrical rapping stuff in it, right? Anyway, let's wrap up Text the Nation.
Text the Nation. Text the Nation.
What if I don't want to?
Text the Nation.
But I'm using email. Is that a problem?
It doesn't matter, text.
Text the Nation this week. We've been asking you what things annoy you most about the summer, not in an attempt to bring anything down or ruin the beautiful week we're
You're
having.
frightened about angering the summer.
Well, I think it's important to stay happy generally, but, we're just trying to eradicate the little annoyances. Here's an email we got from Paul Taylor in Liverpool. Paul says, "Call me a bluff old traditionalist, but I abhor the wearing of shorts in the office environment. A crime usually perpetrated by the male gender, it's something to be avoided at all costs. The whole damn thing reminds me of lifting a paving stone up when I was a kid, revealing the horrors that have lain undisturbed for months. I have little desire to see the equivalent of hairy milk bottles being piloted around the office by people who can't take a bit of heat."
What's
hairy
his name?
milk bottles.
Paul
Taylor.
That's a very good.
Doesn't speak like that.
It's a very good message, Paul. I agree with you. Although I'm a big shorts advocate. I look forward to the day when I can pull the shorts out of the locker there.
Hairy milk bottles being piloted around the office.
That's brilliant, man. That's poetry.
That's a good metaphor, even though I don't know. I like the thought of actual hairy milk bottles being piloted around an office. I don't know who'd do that and why. Here's some more text. We've got sunburned scalp drives me crazy. It hurts, then peels, then gets all flaky. Gross. Also hate back and knee sweat. Sunburned scalp?
I mean, you're missing out on a couple of tricks there. Who's that from? Because you can get a hat. Also sun cream.
Kirsten in Bristol. How do you, we're back to the hairy man covered in marge again, but how do you get the sun cream on the hairy scalp?
Well, you know, your hair should protect you.
Are you balding at all? Have you got a little bald spot?
I've got the beginnings of a little one.
Beginnings. Are you worried about it getting burnt? I think this might be for people who've got bald spots.
Yeah, maybe. But that's from a lady, though.
But scalp happen in the parting, just getting burned along the parting.
Right.
Wear a hat. But you see, once you've got the hat, the sunglasses, the sunblock, it's such a rigmarole, and all you're doing is going outside.
Well, exactly. But you've got to watch out because the sun hates you.
Very true.
Absolutely hates you.
Here's another one. Phil in London says, rubbish movies. The studios wheel out their tired franchises and bloated special effects extravaganzas all summer. It's so rare to see a decent movie between May and August, though Iron Man was great. Says Phil in London.
Phil, he's plugged in. I agree with you though, Phil. You know, everyone sort of goes on about blockbusters as if there's some sort of great, fantastic pleasure of the summertime. I don't agree. I can't remember. I'm not even that excited about Iron Man, to tell you the honest truth. You've seen it though, Joe. You like it, right?
I've seen it twice.
And you loved it.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
John Favreau.
Good job, yeah.
He's a genius.
He's a very nice guy, I'll have you know.
Yes, he directed
He looks like Iron Man. He's got a huge head and big shoulders, and but he's a very nice fella. I'm just trying to get over the point that I've met him and talked to him.
We got
is that coming through?
It's coming through.
Is that a name drop sound effect? Oh dear, no, you get the idea anyway. Here's another one from Sarah in Bristol. Muffin tops. If you can't fit into your skinny jeans and little top, then don't wear them. Look in the mirror before you leave the house.
Muffin top.
A muffin top is one of those belly tops, you know, short top where the tummy sticks out, isn't it?
This, because it looks like a muffin over the
Oh, it's the roll of fat that you might have that pops out the top of your jeans that looks like a muffin.
Oh, I see.
I don't think you can start getting angry with people for the shape of their bodies.
Well, you can if they don't cover them up.
No, I don't think you can. I think that's bad.
It's incumbent upon you if you have
people.
What
about all those? What's that artist? Beryl Cook.
Beryl Cook.
Beryl Cook. You know, a nice plump lady skipping along. You know, I'm thinking of Gerald Scarfe as well. The all the St. Trinian's pictures. That's part of the British, or a saucy seaside postcard.
Bit of wobbly flesh.
If you've got a fuller figure, then it's wrong to make people feel ashamed of it.
No, I think the problem is squeezing yourself into stuff that's not necessarily even very flattering.
Right.
You know, like I agree with you. A nice fuller figure, nothing is more attractive, especially in a summery dress. That's one of the great things about summer is ladies in summery dresses, especially if they have a fuller figure. Life doesn't get any better. But no, the muffin top thing is a valid observation.
Yeah, wear clothes that fit is the general thrust. Sophie in Cardiff says, stop Radio 1 playing Summertime by the Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff. Whenever the sun comes out, it drives me nuts.
Well, surely that's got to be a robust one like Outkast. I mean, that's a good song, though, isn't it?
What, the hoary old summer classic cliche songs?
Yeah.
I like that song.
That's a good song. It's wicked.
And here's kind of a quite in-depth one from Graham in London. I don't like the way hot weather makes me loathe my housemate, who's a teacher and is only a short while away from a 6-week paid holiday. I don't think I'll be able to talk to him for the whole summer. Also, don't like getting stuck behind buses on my bike and not being able to breathe.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's. Have we got one more just to round things off there for Text the Nation this week, Joe?
No.
So that was it. Thank you very much indeed for all your texts and emails. And I was going to say, don't forget you can email us during the week, but they wouldn't. Why would they need to this week? It's all done and dusted. There's no need.
Well, they just might have something to complain about.
Oh, of course. You can always give us a message, whether it's negative or positive, anytime you want. And the email address is adamandjoe.6music@bbc.co.uk. It's Coldplay time now. This is the new single.
I haven't heard this yet.
Have you not? Well,
no.
It's
I'm going to listen closely.
I keep thinking it's called Violent Hill, but it's not. It's just called Violet Hill. This is Coldplay.
I love you, Chris. Chris, I love you. You said to let you know I love you.
That's good, though, isn't it?
It is.
Violet Hill by Coldplay. That's their new single. Is it out already, or is it coming out?
It's taken from their forthcoming fourth album, Viva la Vida, which is out on Thursday, June the 12th, produced by Eno and Marcus Dravs. That track was downloaded 600,000 times in the first 24 hours.
Wow, that's impressive.
Thanks.
Very good. Well done, Joe. Well done.
Thanks a lot, man.
I really like the new sound.
Thanks.
I like what you've done there.
Yeah, thanks a lot. This is Adam and Joe on BBC Six Music. It's time for another trail. That's Urge Overkill with Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon from 1994.
Yeah, most commonly associated with which film?
Is it a Lynch one?
No.
What is it? I don't know.
It's Pulp Fiction. isn't it?
Oh, probably. You're probably right.
He's got a knack for picking those tunes.
Yeah, this is Adam and Joe on BBC Six Music. It's pretty much the end of our show. Thanks to everybody who's texted and emailed. Does this mean it's going to be a good Glastonbury this year?
Well, you know, we're lobbying to get ourselves along to Glastonbury to do our show
We're
live.
desperate to do the show live from Glastonbury.
I don't know what the Big British Castle nabobs think about that idea, but
What's the feeling? What's the vibe, Jude?
Nobody's telling me anything. They're teasing me.
Really? It's teasing. We'd love to go and do the show, but that would be fun.
That would be both Wickles and Wackles.
Because it could be a good one. I get the feeling it's got to be a good.
I still don't know who's playing there.
If it's a rainy festival season, then that's it. I think festivals should be cancelled in this country.
That's true.
Because for too many years on the trot, it's been a washout.
Electric Sticks.
If there isn't, I tell you what, if it isn't a sunny Glastonbury, there is no God. Officially.
Right. That's very
I know it's a big, contentious, provocative thing to say. But personally, for me, I'm abandoning all religion. If there is no God, if it's rainy in Glastonbury,
it's all hanging on. Whether it's sunny at Glastonbury.
Is that a good thing for it to pivot on?
For cornballs.
I think we should just call God's bluff. Say, come on.
Well, Emily Evis surely would have something to say about that. I don't know if she's in touch with the Almighty. Presumably not. Otherwise,
does she tend to control the weather?
She controls the Glastonbury,
right?
But I'm sure if she had any say in it, she'd be on to the correct authorities to try and figure out some deal with.
She's probably involved in some kind of ritual.
Who I still don't know who is headlining Glastonbury. Is it?
It's Jay-Z.
Oh, it's Jay-Z.
Yeah.
It's the hip hop controversy.
Of course, yes,
of course. And would you be excited personally about seeing Jay-Z?
He's pretty incredible live.
99 Problems.
Hip hop is a bit shaky when it comes to being performed live. You can see somebody who's amazing on record and they don't really, do it live. But Jay-Z is the exception to that.
Is he like the Pet Shop Boys? Does he wear crazy spangly costumes? Does he have Brazilian dancing ladies?
I don't think he does a big show, but you can hear what he's saying and you can really appreciate the delivery of the lines and the rhythm of the delivery. And some of those samples are so.
Yeah, but. Does he hand out lollies? I mean, what's the...
He does hand out lollies.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, he goes into the crowd, lots of chuppa chups.
Hats? Little hats?
Little hats? What are you talking about?
I want a party bag. Is that too much to ask?
Yeah, he has those things that... Those things. What are they called?
Exactly.
What are they called, those things?
Noisemakers.
They're not called noisemakers.
Yes,
Anything can be a noisemaker.
They're called fun-toot horns.
Fun-toot horns. Thank you, Adam.
Yeah.
Fun-toot horns. Does he hand out fun-toot horns?
He should do. I bet you Coldplay hand out fun-toot horns.
They do, yeah. And Bakewell tarts as well. He loves to shower the audience with Bakewell tarts. That's something to look forward to. We'll see you next week, listeners.
Don't forget the podcast, folks. You can download it from tomorrow evening and subscribe, for goodness sake. Don't make us hang around the lower reaches of the top 20. We'll look ludicrous. Thank you very much indeed for all your texts and emails and for listening to the show.
That's all right.
Stay tuned, please, for the show. I've had a brain fart.
For Liz Kershaw, who's coming up next here on BBC Six Music. Have a very lovely weekend. Bye-bye.